Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. And with the Kickoff Classic concluding last weekend, Scump is discussing how this year is going to be the most competitive year by far of any Call of Duty season that we've ever had. And Formal taking the mick out of Dashy for how they ranked Los Angeles Thieves going into this past weekend. Very much intriguing your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hitting the like button is the best thing you can do. Top this channel reach new people, and please do subscribe as well if you have not yet already. First of all, apparently a Semtex is coming to Vanguard. Looks very similar to the World War II Semtex, understandably so. I guess this is realistic within whatever the things they had. Now, in fairness, the Semtex was pretty much the only grenade that was used back in World War II. The Semtex was used over the main frag grenades. Now, I mean, still, who knows? If they're adding a new grenade, you'd think that they might at least consider adding a trophy system, which I'm sure we would all kind of like. Now, I mean, look, who knows whether the Semtex is going to come in, whether that's going to be used by the pros, whether they prefer the regular grenades, or exactly how this is going to happen. But in World War II, the Semtex was used over, the sticky grenades was used over the regular one. Usually it is in respawns at the very least. So, maybe this will change up the meta to some degree. And look, if they bring trophies in as a result of this, they probably won't try it. But, still, we can, I suppose, dream about that one. This also from Zuma, new webcam microphone, and mix up all this type of stuff on the way to Eggs for the best quality on the flank. There has been some talk, right, the last couple of days. He says, right here, producer Asim is back with us this week. Going to be more, do more power rankings, right, going into the season. We'll discuss that here in a second. There was some talk actually the last couple of days, like, how can the flank improve? Because I felt like with Eggs coming in, I think things were certainly lost with Asim out of the show in terms of the structure. Like, the fact that I think Ben, what he did really well is that he would have notes during the game of like things like specific moments to discuss during the match. I really enjoyed that. That instead of just kind of skipping through the VOD, it was kind of like Ben would say, okay, go to round 4, and I just want to discuss this particular moment. And he can just do a bit of analysis on that particular moment and then mix it in with reaction. And I also generally really enjoyed like when they had different pros on, right? I know it's difficult to get different pros on every single day, but it was just great. Like if Clayster won or if someone won, just get them on the show, get their opinion, and even just for a few minutes, add a bit of spice to the show. So those were a few things. There was definitely some discussion said, okay, Eggs needs a better mic and all this type of stuff as well. The flanks had a good start again to the new year, but there were some things that Ben brought that I think the show might be missing at the present time. Let's also talk about this from Crimsix. He's been going rogue the last few days, of course. Like, Aqua makes a nice little Twitter header for him right here, but unfortunately, this is a CDL image, which for some reason the CDL, I know they're kind of going for this lighting look where they have one side of the face is bright and the other side's dark. I don't know if it's kind of like an ominous type of lighting. I don't really know why they do this, but it does make them look pretty awful generally, and it's difficult to make them look good for thumbnails and stuff like this. And as Crimsix says, fire but horrible picture of me. I thought that was one of your best. If the CDL took it, it's instantly horrible, he says. So yeah, generally the CDL haven't done Crimsix a great disservice really the last few years in terms of some of the pictures that have come out as a result. This also I thought was funny. I didn't actually see this at the time. I didn't really notice it, but Rocky points out from the crowd right here that this is what Accuracy was saying to the Subliners guys after he beat them. Gives them the choke, telling them to get the hell off the stage. Thought that was pretty cool. And Crimsix says, shouldn't have done that to us, but it's okay. It became personal with me, to Crimsix, right? So he reckons that the Subliners going forwards versus Seattle Surge is definitely going to be a spicy rivalry, right? If you see Accuracy doing this across the stage, he's he's definitely going to be doing his best to get one back on these guys going forwards. But let's talk about the power rankings that OpTic did. Effectively, a power rankings tier list type thing that they did before the event kicked off. This never ends well. Right? You can see Scump is already shaking his head here because he kind of knew that this was giving themselves bad juju for the event. And it was funny, really, that they tried to do a good job putting a lot of the teams in pretty high tiers. Then, Los Angeles Thieves and Paris were the two teams that they could have played in the first round. I'm pretty sure both those teams they put in B tier, and we saw how it worked out for them in the end when they played Los Angeles Thieves. But a lot of things were really interesting that were said here, really, by the OpTic guys. Scump especially had some words to say on the competitiveness of this title being way higher than we've ever seen really in Call of Duty history before, but also what he had to say on Los Angeles Thieves, where of course they had Envoy on their team, and he's going to be pulling off some flanks. Of course, that's exactly what he does to win this series against OpTic at the event.
I don't really think there's any team in C, like as people are going to be like, they're just doing that to not get bad juju, which we kind of are, but I don't think there's any team that's like in a league under everyone else right now.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, like right. there's no F tier teams besides us, of course.
Right.
But I don't think there's any horrible team.
Absolutely. Go time. All right, staying on the West Coast.
LA Thieves, we got Dill.
That's our boy.
That's our boy right
we
there.
We got Dylan Envoy over there, still hitting flanks. Ain't nothing changed.
With Ken and Drazah. I would put him.
I'd put them in B as well.
Another B knocking the door back.
Yeah,
I mean,
another B knocking the door back.
That's potential. That's potential right there to be best team in the world.
Right.
If JCap can get them in line,
it's all about
I can see them streaking.
So the bottom line is the competition this year is way better than last year.
It's tough. Yeah, last year, I mean, we saw last year. I mean, like, we got smoked doing this last year. Just trust me.
It actually is way better though. Like we're trolling, but this is going to be the most competitive like CDL year for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I don't think it's even close.
Yeah, I don't think like the general fan base understands how.
Nah,
close
yeah,
it
they're
is.
gonna look at
like
Seattle.
You guys are surprising me with these, and you guys were surprising me before we even started recording this.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, they're gonna look at Seattle and be like, well, they sucked last year. They're gonna look at
they're gonna be good.
So I did think it was quite remarkable that Envoy going into this series had really had a bit of a stinker of a series, to be honest, up to this point, right, going into this final map. Like he was 22 and 28 right here, gets a 3-piece though on the flank, which brings it back more even. But I mean, yeah, he was kind of dominating at the end of this. But so far in the series, he got destroyed, right? And just at the crucial moment, as was being discussed there by Scump, right, like, okay, he's going to go for the flanks, we know what he brings to the table. But still, he's shooting people in the back, right, to finish off the game. Kind of incredible. And well, also, Formal watched this, right? So Formal watched it back when Dashi was behind him in the Hex quarters. And then, well, had some entertaining words to say on the matter. Because basically said, look, Dashi, what are you playing at? Are you faded? Are you guys stupid, right? For putting Los Angeles Thieves in the B tier. That's we're just going to get you cooked right at the event. So obviously not the ideal performance, I guess, for the OpTic guys. Put the other team in the B tier. Gave themselves the bad GG for the event. And well, I guess that was the key reason why they lost at the end.
No, you guys are hexing it so hard. You said, and I quote, "We team with Dill. We know what he brings to the table. He brings the flanks. No wonder you got shot in the side game for no wonder." And then you guys laughed about it like, we know what he brings to the table. Look at him. He's like, this could be a hex. This could be a hex. Look at him. He's like, I don't know if we should leave him in B. We probably shouldn't leave him in B. I don't know. We probably shouldn't. Look at him. He's trying to save it. He knows they're getting hexed.
I know. I'm like pushing out the gas right now.
You guys, dude, are you dumb? You let this look. The only two teams that you could have played, you put them at the worst one. The only two you could have played are in the worst one. Are you faded? You let that slide. I'm sorry. That's just not.
So I did want to look at this real quick, actually, from Enable, just because, look, how competitive this league might potentially be. Because, of course, this weekend now concluded, and everyone's putting their power rankings in a different spot again. Because that was the tier list, of course, that the OpTic guys just did, and this is Enable's one post-kickoff classic. So, of course, things get very interesting already in terms of the power rankings discussion. Because, yes, I guess Ultra now have to be number one. But what happens to the other teams? Is it possible to put a team like FaZe, just because they lost in the first round, all the way down at fourth? Because right now, Enable has FaZe the fourth best team in the game. That might be very understandable, but it seems very difficult to me, even though FaZe lost this one series against Seattle, like who were obviously a dominant force this weekend, to say that anything other than S tier. Like the talent on the FaZe guys, like it just doesn't feel right putting them in A tier, to me at least, but you guys might disagree. So Toronto here are S tier, the only S tier team at least. Of course, it's tough to say how like close these tiers are, because I mean, Toronto, I wouldn't say they're worlds above these other teams by any means, but still, they might be slightly better right now. I guess they go into the next event as favourites, or at least when the major online qualifiers start. Thieves are there in A tier as well. Seattle, FaZe, OpTic, and the New York Subliners. And then we've got Boston Breach, Minnesota, Rokkr, Florida Mutineers, LAG down in C tier. And then it's actually London and Paris down in D tier. Thought this was kind of unfair, maybe, especially to the London guys. I thought Paris had been looking solid. But still, I rate Enable's opinion, or at least spreading these out between 5 groups. Because I think that Scump's thoughts was like, okay, we can't really do more than like, 3 or 4 tiers. He reckoned that pretty much it's S, A, B. And no one else really comes too far below that, right? Pretty much everyone is condensed into those 3 tiers. We'll see how things go when the season starts. I would say generally when the season begins, there's a good chance the teams will be quite closely matched. As the season goes on, some teams will certainly separate themselves from the pack, but Enable thinks they can fit into 5 tiers right now. I would say maybe 4 tiers, but I think Scump is probably on the money when he says, yes, this year's the most competitive we've ever seen, because most rosters have put together a team to try and take down FaZe. It seems to be working early on. Whether it will work in the long term, who knows? Some teams are certainly going to underperform and are going to require some changes here, but still, I think this year is probably the most competitive that we have ever seen. The talent is out of control, and the fact that even a team like London, with the roster that they have and the potential that it has, is down there in the D tier on Enable's list at least, just goes to show, right? Because yes, they did lose their matchup they played this weekend. They got 3-0'd pretty comfortably by the Seattle Surge, but still, we know how good Seattle were this weekend. I still think London have an awful lot of potential on that roster that could bring them up to a top 6, top 4 at a particular event if they have a great run. Which goes to show, I think, that Scump is probably right when he says this year may well be the most competitive that we have ever seen. This also, I just wanted to share from Doug real quick. He gave his thoughts, I noticed, on the OpTic defeat. He said that yes, he's a big fan of Los Angeles Thieves guys, but he was kind of surprised and disappointed at the way OpTic performed this past weekend.
What are your thoughts on OpTic losing so early?
I kind of was disappointed, honestly. I was kind of shocked by how good 100 Thieves played. Like, I'm shocked and I'm not, because I think the 100T roster is dirty. Like, I have no question in skill with Envoy, Drazah, Octane, and Kenny. I was just kind of surprised because from what I saw from OpTic, I just expected them to beat Thieves.
Just a few interesting things here to finish out the video. Firstly, this is kind of, well, Miguel points out, but it was also mentioned yesterday that Dwayne Johnson, the Rokkr, of course, was saying he's going to do another video game movie. We're going to bring one of the biggest, most badass games to the screen, one that I've played for years. What could that be? But, you know, some people are saying it's going to be Call of Duty, right? Now, who knows if that works? Like, apparently he's super close with Microsoft, right? Big COD guy. Like, maybe they're going to work on something like this. I don't know, like, what they think in there. I don't know if it'll be any good or not. But, yeah, maybe Call of Duty is going to become a film. They're probably going to do it, honestly. Like, it's probably kind of a surprise they haven't done it yet, I suppose, with a franchise this big. So maybe The Rock's going to be involved. There's a lot of money on the line. Get Scump to kind of cameo in the movie or something like that. That's what I'm talking about, right? That's what we should push for here as well, the competitive Call of Duty fan base. This also, I thought, was a really great thread from the flank. Some of the biggest glow ups in no particular order, a thread, as he says. So you've got Methods number 1. Joey Nubsy here makes the list as well. Doug Sensor Martin, this one always cracks me up, right? When he went to that first LAN event, I'm pretty sure it was like 15 here, back in the Black Ops 1 days. Courage Shade G, of course, Slash Royale. Slash is looking good nowadays, that's for sure. Donnie Temp, of course, as well. Gizmo. Like, so I guess Gersh goes through a lot of these pictures and tries to find some pretty good ones. I thought there was about maybe 16 of them here. Clayster's also a funny one, right? Because of the ponytail back in the day. And, well, Huke honestly might be the biggest club for sure. Like, this guy's almost unrecognizable. He actually, as he aged, he actually looked younger. It's kind of incredible. Like, but he's still crazy young, honestly, some of these guys, how young they are. Like, TJ, I found out, is only 22, which blew my mind because TJ's been competing for so long. I remember a clip that I saw of him playing a Black Ops 2 chal, I'm pretty sure, up against some pros at the time. He must have been like 11 or 12 back in the day. It's kind of crazy. 13 goes Drazah, and I mean, there's obviously not too many pictures of Drazah back in the day, but it's still a pretty good club. Scraps G, of course, you know, Trey Zero, and then, well, Joe DeLuca. Merc definitely deserves to finish out the list. Handsome Merc, as per usual, and, well, just, I guess, some highlight plays to finish out the video, but very much intrigued to your thoughts and all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit on a like button, tell the YouTube gods this is a good video, others like you should see it as well, and help grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always, take care, and I will see you next time.